Welcome to the Sunday's Gospel Reflection. The poor young prisoner was summoned before the king. He was condemned to death. But the king wanted to give him a last chance. If he did what the king asked him, he would be pardoned. The task was simple. I command you to yawn, ordered the king. The poor kid was desperate. Your Majesty, forgive me. I would like to obey you, but I cannot make myself yawn. Yawning has to come by itself when the conditions are right. The truth is that in life, some things we can do when and how we decide. But there are other things that we have no power over. We simply have to wait for them to happen. In today's second reading, St. John says, His commandment is this: we should love one another, just as He commanded us. Jesus Himself says, This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. This is my command to you: love one another. But let us stop a little bit to reflect. Can anything, can anyone oblige you to love someone else? If love is forced on someone under obligation or under the pain of some kind of punishment or in view of some reward, would that remain real love? Can love be the result of fear or hope for a reward? This would be nothing more than self-interest, which is no love at all. A love that is imposed is no love. It is at best just an obligation. What is love if it is not free, generous, unconditional, a gift of self to and for the beloved? So, how can Jesus in the Gospel speak of love as a commandment? Is love a gift or is it an obligation? The answer is as simple as it is demanding. Love cannot be imposed. It cannot be programmed. It cannot be manufactured. No, Jesus is not speaking of a love that is imposed on us as some kind of obligation or law. God does not oblige us to follow this or that regulation. God is love itself and therefore cannot impose Himself on us or control us through the promise of rewards or the fear of punishments. Love can only be that pure freedom to give or to receive with no ulterior motive of gain or self-interest. Love is not a set of rules to be followed. Love is a gift that makes us free with the same freedom of God Himself, who is love. It makes rules, yes, but these rules, all commandments, all obligations are redundant. They are irrelevant. Love remains the one and only commandment that cannot be obeyed in a slavish way. It is itself the only real source of a meaningful and lasting life. It is the only commandment that gives us total freedom. St. Augustine put it so forcefully when he said, love God, and you can do whatever you please. Because whatever you do out of love gives the joy of discovering and experiencing the full and lasting meaning to your life. Love gives you freedom. We are God's children, made in His image and likeness, because we are created and born from a God who is pure love itself, as St. John defines Him in the Gospel. St. Ignatius puts it so strongly in his prayer. Teach us, good Lord, to serve as you deserve, to give and not to count the cost, to fight and not to heed the wounds, to toil and not to seek for rest, to labor and not to ask for reward, except that of knowing that we are doing your most holy will. No, God does not command us to love, if by that we mean that God orders us to love. Love itself is the greatest commandment, not because it is some kind of law or order that we must submit to. It becomes the greatest commandment if love becomes our noblest, deepest, strongest, free decision. Love is when we submit fully, totally, unconditionally to the greatest gift we have received, the freedom to become ourselves pure, loving, unconditional gifts, just like God. It is this pure freedom that only love can give that makes us indeed God's own children, created in His image and likeness. No, to love is not simply to conform to instructions, to submit to regulations. To love is not simply to be correct or even to always get it right. Love is not just a feeling. Love is not just an emotion. Love is a pure gift tied to one condition: the free, total, unconditional decision to accept it so that you can give it just as freely, just as totally, just as unconditionally as you have received it. Yes, love can only be a gift freely received, but it will only be fully received if it is just as freely given. This is why love is at the same time both a gift and a decision. Do you want to be the gift? It's your decision. God bless you and thank you.